Hey everyone, welcome to the incredible world of this icy adventure ship. Today, we have a sailor ready to greet the big cool breeze on board. But sudden freezing brings unexpected chaos. The crew instantly directed their full attention towards the splashing water, only to discover themselves amidst shattered ice and utterly vanished traces of panic in the freezing polar region at -40 degrees. Sailors tossed the rescue rope like darts. But icy water said, no way. In just 30 seconds, a jug-cracking buddy vanished. The sailor chief's courage lit up, ready to dive in, but everyone knew it was just adding extra patches to the crew kept a keen eye on the spot. With broken ice covering the surface like a party gone wrong, the frigid waters devoured every fallen sailor. In just 30 seconds, that buddy vanished like a lost pencil. The sailor chief decided to dive in, but everyone knew it was just taking on the heavy moral duty of another life. On the other side, the bleeding crew member looked pale with darkening lips, in critical condition. From the symptoms, it seemed like scurvy was playing tricks, but strangely, they had sufficient delicious breakfast supplies every morning. Considering 3 others had previously met their end due to the same symptoms, this was a historic moment. They hid their illness to avoid bothering the captain, only for loyalty and bravery to, at most, just a line of small text in the ship's log, preserved only to give future generations a good. Now the Terror and Phantom were stuck near the Arctic Circle, but the dogs on board were barking like they sensed a whiff of death. That night, the sick crew members suddenly worsened, and I remember one seeing a mysterious wizard by the bed. Maybe it was the Ice Queen arriving. Dr. Godso sensed something odd and rushed over to check, but following the crew member's gaze led to nothing, just an empty. But the weirdness didn't stop there. The panicked crew shouted, "Turn back now." He seemed to see the fate of the entire expedition team before he gasped and passed away on the spot. Next day, Captain Franz surveyed the route ahead. Ice partly frozen, temp down 20 tilde, hasty entry risked fridge trap. On the other hand, Captain John was organising the repairs for the propeller. If he just cleared the ice block stuck in the blades, the expedition team could set sail. No one dared dive into the Arctic ice gorge before. The sailor who fell in yesterday froze solid in 30 seconds. Wrapped in layers of wool, the sailor faces life and death, donning a heavy suit like a heavyweight warrior. The sailor said, if he pulls the rope once, he needs to go down twice indicates it's tangled. If he pulls 3 times, that would mean he might be grappling with invisible enemies. After giving the briefing, he donned the helmet and prepared to dive, marking the first human visit to the mysteries beneath the Arctic ice. The dark Arctic seabed had the sailor cautiously scanning, ensuring no dangers before moving on. He began using the ice pick to knock out the stuck ice blocks, but just as he finished his task and prepared to return, he felt something was watching him, scaring the sailor to his core. Such a bizarre scene left even the sailor chief rattled. After getting back on board, he downed strong liquor to calm his nerves. The sailor chief didn't mention coast, explaining the propeller by saying, "I just got too nervous." Now the propeller was bent. While they could still sail, the power had definitely taken a hit. Engineers estimated the engine efficiency was down to half. The ice sculptures on the surface had become increasingly fascinating. However, even if the ship managed to move, there was no time to reach safety due to the phenomenon of shifting days appearing days prior. It hinted this winter would be colder than ever. At this moment, the options were either take a longer route or concentrate resources on the Terror for the exploration to continue, but Captain John firmly rejected that. For this expedition, he had poured his heart and soul, even risking it all for the sake of having the most advanced ice-breaking technology. Before departing, he even said a fervent prayer to God, but he was a man who disregarded the lives of his crew, foolishly believing God would grant him good fortune. However, the other leaders on board admired Captain John, and they ultimately decided to proceed with the original ice-breaking plan. Before leaving, Captain John skillfully held a funeral, but the rope snapped unexpectedly during burial. The steady casket unexpectedly opened, revealing the deceased's pale face, foreshadowing the expedition's 2 other future. Losing 1 or 2 sailors was normal for Captain John. After his speech, the fleet set sail. The crew united in their speech, exclaiming, "We shall forge ahead bravely, confronting the unknown Arctic adventure." However, they had not anticipated that the courage they possessed before embarking on the adventure might swiftly transform into severe life and death tests. The crew repeated in the speech, "We shall forge ahead, facing the unknown Arctic adventure." The crew echoed in the speech, "We shall forge ahead, facing the unknown Arctic adventure." The crew continued in the speech, "We shall forge ahead, facing the unknown Arctic adventure." The powerful steam engine easily broke through the floating ice, and everything seemed to go smoothly at first, but the expedition had only progressed 6 days. An unprecedented cold front froze the sea completely, forcing the crew to fight tirelessly on the ice, even using giant logs, rendered utterly helpless by nature. Captain Float, seeing the surrounding ice getting harder, boldly ordered to use the strongest methods. The booming explosions ripped through the ice, and after days of struggle, the ship finally began to move forward. However, after a few meters, they were iced again. Next day, Captain John faced the bleak ice and had to face reality. He had no choice but to order the engines to stop and winter in place. Yet, 8 months later, and there were still no signs of thaw, truly making one feel helpless. The fleet sent 3 elite teams, each with canned supplies for a delightful fridge journey. Inspired by Captain John, expedition members cheered, setting off like for a mini-game of adventure. Everyone thought they could bring back good news, as the half-hanging sun in the sky seemed to herald their good fortune. The 3 teams headed out from east, west, and south, ready to change directions at any signs of danger. While Fran had already steeled herself, risking a naval court-martial, she chose 8 elite crew for Slave Lake rescue, but they hadn't set out. The search party sent by John brought back important news: they had ventured west, only to be blocked by a wall of ice after several days. Everyone marveled at nature's handiwork, but here, instead of melting, the ice layer only got thicker. They climbed the ice wall only to find an endless wasteland stretching before them, making it all the more desolate. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more icy adventures and quirky stories waiting for you.